this is the first time that I had peace, like, before I sang, because I usually be like, oh Lord, I gotta do this song, But this time I was like, you know what? Let's just get up there and sing. And I wasn't stressed, I didn't miss no lyrics, I didn't do nothing. It was just a peace that came over me, and I'm thankful for that.
When the truth behind Jamal Roberts' hometown visit, more than just a TV moment. When Jamal Roberts stepped off that van in Meridian, Mississippi, you'd expected joyful welcome signs waving in the air, cameras flashing, and family members grinning ear to ear. On the surface, everything looked perfect. But if you paid closer attention, something felt off. Normally, these hometown visits on American Idol are full of raw, emotional moments. They're meant to feel real unscripted hugs, happy tears, and heartfelt reunions. But this time, things felt different. Too perfect. Too rehearsed. It wasn't a celebration. It felt more like a movie set. People in the town started noticing it right away. Camera crews had arrived early, setting up equipment and even marking spots on the ground. They told Jamal where to stand, when to wave, and who to hug.
Like 26 million people voted, took the time out of their schedule to make sure I got this right here. That's an amazing journey. So many people believe in me, and that just gives me that urge to just keep moving and keep pushing.
It wasn't spontaneous. It was staged. Some locals shared that certain family members were asked to move so the shot would look better. One person even said they had to film the hug between Jamal and his grandmother 3 times because the director didn't like the angle. Sure, there was excitement and Meridian people were proud to see one of their own on national television. But mixed in with that pride was something else: confusion, discomfort, and whispers. It felt like the show was trying too hard to control the story. Instead of letting Jamal's journey unfold naturally, it seemed like they were rewriting it, carefully shaping it to fit their version of what America should see.
It was one part of the competition where I was like, I think I can chill now a little bit, but she was like, I want to see more, and it was just consistency, and I understood that completely.
Locals knew the real Jamal. They knew his struggles, his hardships, and everything he had overcome to get here. But most of that didn't make the final cut. What viewers saw on TV were polished scenes and smiling faces, but behind the cameras, another story was playing out. Once the actual filming began, things became even clearer. People close to the crew said almost every emotional moment was planned or rehearsed. When Jamal visited his old school, they shot that scene 3 different times. His mom gave a heartfelt speech outside their house, but even that was practiced. She was told to pause at certain parts so the camera could zoom in for emotional effect. Nothing was left to chance. Leaked notes from production revealed even more. The goal wasn't just to celebrate Jamal, it was to shape how viewers felt about him. One note even said, "Keep Jamal positive. Avoid any reference to early social media issues." That got fans asking, what social media issues? It became obvious that Idol producers were being very careful. They wanted Jamal to seem genuine, but only in a way they could manage. Behind the scenes, there were internal meetings about reputation risks. Producers were told to avoid anything that could reflect poorly on the show during the high-stakes finale week. But no matter how tightly they tried to control the situation, they couldn't stop everything. During what was supposed to be a cheerful parade moment, someone in the crowd shouted loudly, "We know what you're hiding." Cameras froze. Security rushed in. The man disappeared, but not before several people caught the moment on their phones. Production stopped immediately. Crew members huddled around monitors. Then, they restarted the scene like nothing had happened. But the people watching? They didn't forget. That one sentence, "We know what you're hiding," changed everything. Speculation spread like wildfire. Online forums and local Facebook groups lit up with questions. What are they hiding? Why did they cut so fast? Was that about Jamal? The tension between Jamal and the production team only grew from there. People close to the show said Jamal started pulling back. The bright, cheerful energy fans had come to love seemed dimmed. He still smiled and posed for photos, but insiders said something had changed. This wasn't the same Jamal who had auditioned full of hope and excitement. He wanted more honesty in how his story was being told, less scripting, more truth.
The winner of American Idol is Jamal Roberts.
At one point, Jamal even asked to speak directly to his fans. No script, no do-overs, just his real voice. But the producers shut it down. They said it would mess with the segment flow. Jamal was frustrated. He started pushing back, asking for changes to scenes that felt too fake. The answer he got? It's already locked. He started showing up late to shoots. Sometimes, he'd go silent between takes or step off camera altogether. Some called it unprofessional. Others saw it for what it really was, someone trying to take back control of his own story.
Tell me that it'll settle in probably later on tonight or in the morning or something, but I'm just like, I'm in awe. This has been a dream. God is good, and I'm so thankful. I'm grateful for every opportunity. I'm thankful for American Idol. Everybody that's played a big part in this moment, I love you, and I'm just grateful.
Then, things took a serious turn. Screenshots of group messages between Idol staff were leaked online. These weren't vague hints, they were direct proof. In one message, a producer wrote, "Keep protest signs out of the final cut." Another said, "If he brings up the early elimination backlash, cut it. We've already addressed it." But the most shocking one read, "He's unpredictable on live, might keep segments tight." Managed tone. It wasn't just about producing a good show. It was about editing out anything that didn't fit their version of Jamal. The fans noticed. The same people who had supported him from day one now felt betrayed. One person tweeted, "We didn't vote for a script. We voted for Jamal. Give him his voice back." Another wrote, "I feel sick knowing how much was fake. He deserved better." Soon, hashtags like "Justice for Jamal" and "Idol Exposed" started trending. People demanded answers. Petitions were started. One asked the network to release the unedited footage of Jamal's hometown visit. Thousands signed in just hours. And then came the moment no one saw coming. In a quiet, unplanned chat with two local reporters he had known since high school, Jamal opened up, really opened up. No script. No pressure. Just honesty. He said, "The show changed me, and not always in a good way." He talked about the pressure to always smile, the way producers told him not to respond to criticism, the way they edited his jokes and turned real moments into staged scenes. "They wanted every part of me," he said, "except the parts that made them uncomfortable." He even hinted that some of the judges knew what was going on and didn't speak up. According to Jamal, a few judges told him they were just doing their jobs, but they saw and heard things and stayed quiet. Worse, he claimed some even helped the producers craft contestant narratives, picking favorites and shaping what fans would see. Rumors started that Jamal had recordings, audio clips from behind the scenes that showed the real story. He hasn't released them, but insiders say he's waiting for the right moment. Even Jamal's family felt the weight of the show's control. His mother later revealed that production told them what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Even personal stories were edited down to fit a clean, marketable version of Jamal's journey. One of the saddest parts came from his younger sister. In one scene, she was supposed to express how proud she was of her brother. But instead of smiling, she froze. Then she whispered, "It doesn't feel honest." She broke down in tears. That scene never made it to air. What should have been a proud, joyful visit turned into something staged and hollow. The town of Meridian is now divided. Fans are too. Some still support the show. Others want accountability. And that brings us to the heart of the matter. Jamal Roberts didn't just step into the national spotlight to chase a dream. He stepped into a machine, a system that, for all its talk about authenticity, was more interested in image than truth. What was supposed to be a celebration of his roots, his resilience, and his journey turned into something else entirely. A carefully choreographed performance. A show with a script. And in that process, something real got lost. The way his hometown visit was handled, the rehearsed hugs, the forced speeches, the pressure put on his family to stick to pre-approved soundbites, it all points to something bigger. This isn't just about Jamal anymore. It's about the cost of controlling someone's story. It's about what happens when a person becomes a product. And yet, through all of this, Jamal kept showing up. Not because it was easy, but because somewhere deep down, he knew his truth mattered. That his story, the real one, deserved to be heard. Even if the cameras weren't rolling. Even if the producers said no. Even if the final edit tried to erase the parts that didn't fit their version of him. What makes this story hit so hard is how many people saw themselves in Jamal. Regular folks who've been told to tone it down, smile more, be easier to handle. People who know what it's like to feel unheard in rooms where decisions are made about them but never with them. And now, the world is asking questions. Why was so much of Jamal's story hidden? Why was the focus on polishing his image instead of celebrating the full reality of who he is? Why did the moment he tried to speak freely, he was silenced? The truth is, American Idol didn't just shape his image, they tried to own it. And when Jamal pushed back, when he dared to want more than a highlight reel, the cracks started to show. From the leaks, to the whispers, to the crowd member who shouted, "We know what you're hiding," it all added up. And for many fans, it changed everything. But this story isn't over. Jamal may not have been allowed to tell his truth on their stage, but he's finding ways to do it on his own terms. Through quiet moments, through unfiltered conversations, through raw honesty that can't be edited out. That takes courage. That's real strength. And now, it's up to us, the viewers, the fans, the people who believed in him from the beginning, to listen, to support, and to demand better. Because if shows like Idol claim to care about real people and real talent, then they have to respect real stories. All of it, not just the pretty parts. So, what do you think?